There's no excuse for them not to win versus Paulson Adebo, and they should definitely win versus Deontay Banks. Deontay Banks went to Maryland. I've watched him for a long time. He can't run with CD. The only person who can guard CD in this game is CD Lamb. All right, Zach, let's try this again. Let's try to get a win this week. Zach, Foots, we're both on the screen. First of all, Zach, for the inaugural recap, I got to say it was literally like 1:30 at night. But I went back and watched, and it was dope, man, to do that with you. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, it was good. We were both pretty exhausted by the end of it, but I thought it turned out really good. I think people were excited.
I think people were excited. And so this is going to be the schedule. We're going to hit you guys off with, kind of keys to a victory. It's not going to be a real long video because we're always doing content on our channels or we're doing shows, and we may even have some stuff for you guys coming up. And you guys are going to see me and Zach on the screen, but then our more long form stuff will be the live stream at the end of the game. And we just appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Thank you, Sleeper, for sponsoring this segment and this content. And so what we want to do today, Zach, is talk about beating the Giants. Overall, Zach, big picture, I love the way that the Cowboys played last week. I think we kind of hit on that. The defense settled in the second half, and the offense miscued in the second half, but they came out hot. Just how do you feel going into this game, just big picture before we get to the keys?
I'm with you on that. It made me feel a lot better after week one. We didn't know where this team stood with Brian Schottenheimer and obviously new OC, new DC. We really didn't know what this team was going to be. How long has it been? Have we watched football without Dak Prescott on the field? Yeah. So I think they gave us a lot of things to like from what we saw. Offensively, first half, defensively, second half. Like there were flashes that we wanted to see early on. So that's the main thing. I'm excited. I feel really good about this game, and we're going to talk about it, but they made me feel a lot better after week one.
For me, Zach, I just feel like the vibe. Like we saw Brian Schottenheimer having his coaches dance around, bring energy. That's real. It's tangible, and I think it carried. They went out and punched Philly in the mouth. Now they got to finish, but the penalties were down. The discipline's down. He's talking about consistency, but he's being consistent in if you're not doing your job, you're not going to play. Whether that's Jaden Blue, whether that's Mozzie Smith, he doesn't care. And he's being out front, and I respect that. He's being direct. I respect that. Zach, let's talk about some keys to victory. We got 5, and we're going to do a snake. We're going to snake draft this thing. So I'm going to go first. We got 5 kind of offensive, defensive, even maybe some teams. I don't know if we'll go teams, but we're going to talk about how this Cowboys team can beat the Giants. So I watched the TV copy, and then I went back and watched the film of the Commanders versus the Giants. And, the hype coming into that game was, the defensive line, and could this be a resurgence of Russell Wilson? Could Brian Daboll kind of save his job? And honestly, I saw none of that. You see Malik Neighbors on the sideline pouting. It looks like Daboll has already lost his best player. But one of my big takes and takeaways from this game is that, man, Russell Wilson he's just not good anymore. I wrote this down, Zach. When Sean Payton moved on from Russell Wilson, it was messy. Like you felt that Sean didn't really handle it the best, but there was a reason why he literally wanted him out of Denver. He can't really escape the pocket anymore. He still throws these rainbow footballs. I call him the Skittle. Where's the rainbow ball? Where he's gonna throw the 9, but it's just like it doesn't really. It's just not a good football. Like there's a chance they'll catch it. It's not really what it once was when it was let Russ cook. Maybe what almost feels like 6-7 years ago. And so then when you look at it, a 59 passer rating, 168 yards, 0-2 in the red zone. It was hard for them to get anything on third and distance, and he will not throw the middle of the field. If you watch Russell Wilson, he's a shorter quarterback, and he's lost his athleticism. So the Cowboys can pretty much dare him to throw the middle of the field, take away the thirds, and he won't throw over the middle of the field. 1, because I don't think he can see, but 2, because that's just something that he hasn't done now for a while, even when he did have his athleticism. So to me, that's key number 1, Zach. Make Russell Wilson be great. I think that you rush contain. Don't let him sneak out the back door. If he starts drifting, I don't think they have the guys. I love Malik Neighbors, but like Slayton, does that scare you? Wan'Dale Robinson is a nice player, but I don't know if he's somebody who scares you. So number one for me, Zach, make Russell Wilson beat you.
After watching him with the Steelers last year, you got the vibe. Well, I mean, in Denver too, you started getting the vibe that he is not the same guy. And now we're even 2 or 3 years removed from him being in Denver, where he really took a really big step back. It has a lot to do with his age. He relied on getting outside the pocket and making throws on the run. And in that playoff game a couple years ago, if you remember, like, he was moving around, making throws through the sideline. Like, he was dicing up the Dallas defense. But now playing this Russell Wilson, a much older guy, like you mentioned, he can't throw over the middle of the field. And I do want to remind everybody, I know it was week 1, and this is a different team from last year, but the Commanders' defense was not good last year.
No.
They were not good. No. And the Giants really couldn't move the ball against them. So, I look at Malik Neighbors, like you said, on the sideline, being ticked off. It seems like Daboll's kind of losing this team already. So I'm with you. Make Russ beat you. And if he does, kudos to him.
Yeah.
But I got a feeling that that's not going to happen if you do all of these other things correct. So really quick, guys, if you love football like I do, you're going to want to check out Sleeper Daily Fantasy. This isn't your typical daily fantasy sports app. It's built for fans who want fast, simple, and fun action on game day. So if you want to add some extra juice to watching the Cowboys or any NFL matchup, download Sleeper today. Use my code, and they're going to match your first deposit up to $100. That's free money to play with. Sleeper, the best daily fantasy sports app around, so go check them out and use code DoubleMove for that deposit match up to $100. Now, let's get back into it. My first key to victory, another fast start. Last week, we saw Dallas get out to a fast start. Maybe not as much defensively. Now, out of the break, they were great, but the offense was cooking early on. They would have scored 14, 21 points in a row with something like that. But if you do that against the Giants, a team that we think is going to have a hard time scoring, you could put this game out of reach quick.
Yes.
Put the pressure on them. Make Russ start. He has to throw the ball, right? You can't let him run. Now, I saw Devin Singletary get a couple of carries. I know Tyrone Tracy's there, but I saw him last week, and Singletary just looked so old.
Oh my God.
So slow, so old. But another fast start. I want to see it from Brian Schottenheimer again, going there with a really nice plan and get this thing out of reach early.
Attack, yeah. And back to the Russell Wilson point, and even really to your Singletary and Tyrone Tracy, the offensive line. Oh my God. It's rough. Zach, what's your second point in snake fashion, so we can get to this fifth one? What's your number 2 point?
Limit the turnovers.
Good one.
They didn't have a ton of turnovers last week. Now they did have some drops. You could say on fourth down, that's a turnover, blah, blah, blah. But that one in the red zone flipped the game.
Yes,
like if Dallas could have scored with that Miles Sanders, without Miles Sanders turning over the ball, it would have been a completely different game. And when you're playing a team like the Giants, you can't afford to give them opportunities, because Russ might make plays, might get a play to Malik Neighbors. The defense might give up a touchdown or a field goal or whatever. If you limit the turnovers, don't make mistakes that cost you, then you have a much better chance of, like I said, getting off to a fast start and getting this game out of reach, which is what I would like to see from this team.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys players are watching the film and they're saying to themselves, okay, we know we're better than this team. Sometimes those are the hardest games to coach, because you don't want these guys getting complacent. You don't want them, they spent all off season getting ready for the Philly game. You don't want these guys to come out here and take Russ for granted, let him throw a bomb or get some energy going, and now he's on the sideline clapping. You want Malik Neighbors throwing tantrum tantrums. You want Brian Daboll upset. You want those things. I think that you're spot on. Don't turn the ball over. Don't beat yourself. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Be disciplined in that way. I would like to see Shotty. I want Shotty to make sure that he's drilling those guys when it comes to that. Like, be who you're supposed to be. All we heard all off season, Zach, was physicality, violence, physicality, violence. To me, the Giants front is really good. But my point that I want to hit on, Zach, the Cowboys need to run the ball. The Commanders ran the ball for 200 yards. They ran it with Bill Merritt, Jaquaski Merritt. Don't get me to say that 10 times, Zach. They ran it with Austin Eckler. They ran it with guys like that aren't amazing guys, and Cliff did a good job of scheming it up. But one thing that I noticed was you can attack the edges in the run game. You can run at Kayvon Thibodeau. You can do some things if you want to be +1. To me, what I saw with Javonte Williams is let him go out there with Micah McFadden out, okay? He's a really good player. He was their middle linebacker. With him going out early in that Commanders game, you could also see how it hurt them in the run game and the intermediate pass game where, they would actually get good pressure on like first down or make a play or get a stop. And then second down, it would either be a run, Jaden Daniels would sneak out the back door, or it would be a long pass and it would sneak into zone. So to me, Dallas needs to run the ball. Like as well as Dak played, and Dak's going to have his games where shootouts and he needs to make throws and he needs to make plays. And he looked really sharp, Zach. If you're going to get that from 4, look out. But I will say this, Dallas needs to get some type of a run game going. And Brian Schottenheimer said this much. He said they didn't have the swings at the bat. They didn't have the opportunities, Zach. So let's see if they get some more opportunities against an offense. Like, let's be honest, the offense of the Giants, it shouldn't move the ball. With what you've done when it comes to this run defense and with who Matt Eberflus wants to be, and even if they do move from 20 to 20, you should get stops. My last and final point in true snake fashion, I know I just said run the ball. The Cowboys receivers need to win. There's no excuse for them not to win versus Paulson Adebo, and they should definitely win versus Deontay Banks. Deontay Banks went to Maryland. I've watched him for a long time. He can't run with CD. The only person who can guard CD in this game is CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys need to attack this secondary. Drew Phillips is a nice player. I like Tyler Nubin. I even like Javon Holland. But for the most part, you'll have your way against this secondary. And this much has been said. I mean, you see Deebo Samuels getting in the windows on those second downs. If it was second and distance, all the Commanders did was pick up those long first downs because the Giants just play zones. Like they didn't play man. And that's letting me know that their new defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, doesn't trust those corners. To me, the Cowboys and those receivers, this is what you got George Pickens for, Zach. This is what you got CeeDee Lamb for. When they start knifing up because you're running the ball, those guys need to win, and I think that they will. What say you to that, Zach?
I think you wrapped it up perfectly, but the thing with the Giants is if there's one piece of this team that scares you and you say, yes, okay, they can change the course of the game, it's probably their defensive line.
Yes.
We got Dexter Lawrence on the interior and Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeau. So running the ball, obviously going to neutralize those guys. And then like you mentioned, when they start coming up playing the run really hard, you can really let it fly with your receivers. Obviously hold up in pass protection, hard play action, get guys going down the field. I think that this is a good time to get Pickens going.
Yes.
I think this is the game where, and I mentioned it, I made a video about the wide receivers earlier today, and I really think that this is the time that you get maybe Ryan Flournoy a little involved. It's not a high stakes game. I understand in week 1, Thursday night, it being Brian Schottenheimer's first game on Thursday Night Football, the lights are really bright, maybe not wanting to get some of the younger guys involved, but a noon game against the Giants, a team that you think you're better than, if you want to try some different things, like how Pickens fits into an offensive scheme or running the football, just different things, I think this is the perfect week to try to do it.
I completely agree, and I think that you will have the cracks at bat. I think that, again, love Paulson Adebo, covered them. Love Deontay Banks, but those guys can't run with your guys. Go out there, take the game from these guys. I go back to your first point. Start fast. You start fast. You get those guys throwing the ball all over the yard. You should have a big day. Guys, as always, thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you're watching this on my channel, if you're watching this on Zach's channel, make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button. Also, Sleeper. Thank you, Sleeper, for sponsoring this channel. It's your boy Foots the King as always. And for Zach, we will see you guys after the Giants game. We love you all.
Bye.
Peace.